so annoying.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm gonna wait a few minutes to see if anyone's here because I don't know if anyone's here yet.
Okay.
But I usually ask how yous are, but we know from Ashley's Twitter that Ashley is not okay.
No. It's really weird because yesterday I had a really bad mental health day and now my body went, you know what? Now we'll give you a bad body day. Like, how do you feel now?
Oh no.
Could you not organise it on the same day or something? Just get all the pain over with. No.
Oh, you poor thing.
Oh. And Rachel, how are you?
I'm grand. Not to rub it in Ashley's face or anything, but I'm fine. Oh.
Don't worry, I'll just cry.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay, so we're going to start with a question that's probably going to hurt me. What did everyone rate it? Also, can we appreciate
your cover is gorgeous.
This is the US hardback.
Oh, wow.
Because I do have the UK paperback and I also have the ARC as well because I am extra.
I would get my copy, but that involves moving and I just can't do that. So
have you got the same one as Rachel?
Yeah, I've got the same one as Rachel. Just insert picture of Rachel's book.
Mine's also really shiny, so I'm going to hold it at an angle.
It looks so clear. Oh my god, I love it.
Shiny dust jacket. So, I'm afraid to ask, what did you rate it? 4's good. I'm okay there.
3.5.
Okay, no, I can handle that. I thought you was going to say 2, and I was like, don't hurt me.
I think mine was closer to like a 3.5, but I just rounded up. I was like, it's more on the 4 side.
I'm the opposite. I think it's more on the 3 side. Sorry, Becca.
So we're kind of like, me and Rachel
I mean,
are
I
kind of the same.
DNF'd your one.
What? Yeah.
DNF'd your one.
No one's DNF'd any of mine yet. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to talk about my rating on your one.
I haven't started your one yet for next month, so that's. Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to.
You're a bit early.
I needed to get it done because I had to return my library book. So.
Okay.
And it wouldn't let me renew it, so I was like, "Oh, I'm just going to have to just go for it." But I literally read it in an evening because the audiobook is actually on Scribd. So anyone that hasn't read the April book yet and wants to read the April book, it is on Scribd. I think it's actually on their ebook and audio as well. So there you go.
Very nice.
You will need to put that on the Twitter. So people know.
Yes, I'll also add a little note in the Discord as well. But hello.
Hello.
Okay. Hello.
Oh.
Another doggo. Okay, so in the comments, share with us what your rating was.
Yeah, I'm curious because I feel like we're so we've all given different ratings, so I want to see what
I
everyone
love
else
how
said.
it just went gradually down.
I know.
Yeah.
We're just like, no.
Have we? I don't think we've had one so far that we've all had the exact same rating. Like even when we did the side series, I don't think there's been one that we've actually rated everything.
No, really? I thought we all rated it the same.
I'm pretty sure Scythe we all rated 5 stars.
Oh, okay.
The first one.
Okay. Maybe I'm just thinking
definitely not the second one. Second one did not get a 5 stars for me.
3 or 4 star, I can't decide.
Oh, so 3.5, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's a 3.5. 3.5, 4. Liked it but didn't love it.
Okay.
Fair. Don't worry, I'm not going to be offended. I'm just going to go cry in the corner.
So kind of everyone's kind of with me and Rachel, kind of like 3.5. But I rounded up, whereas Rachel rounded down.
I've rounded down.
When it came out in 2020, because I got the e-arc a few months before it came out, and everyone, when it first came out, there was so much hype about it, and I didn't see anyone give it less than a 4. So it's interesting to see, like 2 years down the line, people are giving it like 3 star. Like I don't know if it's maybe for some people they've read her newer book, which is so much more amazing, which considering I give this one 5 star, like This Poison Heart is just incredible.
I didn't know she had another book. Oh my god.
So This Poison Heart is actually the first in I believe it's a duology.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's a duology, but it's
I thought it was a trilogy.
I don't think it's actually been said whether it's a duology or trilogy, but it, you know, the cover for the second one looks.
See if it'll tell me online.
the cover for the second one looks amazing. It comes out this year. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about this book.
Yeah.
So let's be honest, saying that, will we be surprised if Becca then chooses this Poison Heart, knowing it's a secret garden?
Yeah, she probably will.
No,
like,
no, I'm not
all
gonna.
Of their books, okay? All of them.
No, I'm not gonna. I have many retellings by many different authors that I want to choose for my picks. So I'm gonna try not to do the same author more than once on my picks.
Yeah.
But okay, so do you know what my first comment for this book was? And it was on page 4. And I annotated it as well. So let me go to the page.
You're gonna have to let me get this book. Give me a sec.
It's literally 3 words.
After a second.
Men are trash.
So true. So true.
Literally the bit where they're hiding in the forest and those guards are walking past and saying about how like, oh, in that case, is your wife going to have an accident? It'd be a shame if that first step down to your cellar suddenly come loose. I was like,
yeah. I actually really liked how it started.
Everything.
It was like right into the action.
Straight in there.
Yeah, I did like that.
Where even is that?
Page
what
4.
page did you say?
Page 4.
It's probably different. You've the UK one.
I mean, it's technically the second page because it starts on page 3.
Oh.
The page number says 4.
Yeah.
I don't know if the UK paperback is done differently, so the page numbers might be a bit off.
Yeah, no, it starts on page 3.
Okay, so it's the same. It's like halfway down the page for me. But yeah, so I was like, I literally just hate all but one man in this entire story. The men just...
I'm gonna sound hella sexist. I'm fully okay with it. I know I shouldn't be hella sexist, but I mean, I feel personally like there was too many female characters. I know that sounds sexist, but
there was
pretty
only
much
3
every
main...
single character. No, because like every single character in this, even the minor characters were all female. There was one male.
But that's why I love.
And then the
that's why I really wanted Luke to be more of a main character as well. Like I think he would have been, because I loved him for the small amount of time we were with him in the start. I loved him, so I was really hoping for him to like somehow reunite with Sophia and Constance and like join, just join the squad or whatever. But like that would have been so nice.
But we do get to see Luke near the end.
Liked him.
Yeah, but I missed him
throughout
the rest of the book.
Too many. I just felt like there was
to be
too
fair,
many female characters. Like
I mean, there was only 3. There was only 3 though.
I'd say there's more than that.
I mean, there was Sophia, Constance, and Amina. The others were just, they weren't actual characters. They were just people that were around that were like mentioned once or twice.
Is it Erin? Or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Erin.
I wouldn't say Erin is relevant.
No,
I don't like her.
I don't like her.
Erin's just like, no. I mean, she doesn't deserve what happens to her when she gets picked by that disgusting man. But, she just doesn't deserve Sophia either.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm glad Sophia was like, nope.
I think I'm just so used to having more male characters in books that the fact, or like at least one male character that's more developed.
But I think that's why
just kind of like
it's because
more.
Most books seem to be like heterosexual relationships, so I think that's why.
Yeah.
But like
Lisa coming through for me.
Luke was like gay as well. So I mean, I really loved Luke, and I really wanted him to be more in it. And the fact that he wasn't,
I agree.
At least he will give me that sort of dynamic that I'm kind of wanting, and he just didn't. And I was like,
Lisa makes a good point. The whole point of the book is female empowerment, which is why it's majority female, and it's very clear that the book is going to be about that.
Sound sexist. I did say I'm going to sound sexist, but like
I feel like
we too female.
I feel like
I'm
we
all for
grew
female
up.
empowerment. It just felt too much for me.
I feel like we grew up with too many books that are mostly men and boys, and it's like finally we're getting some books that aren't. And I am all for it. Like, I have hardly read any books by men this year, and it's not even through like me actually being like, oh, that's by a man, I'm not going to read it.
Yeah.
It's more the fact that the books that are appealing to me are written by women, and it's not until I'm filling in core pile where there's a column where you put that that it's made me realise that actually I clearly aren't interested by men's writing as much as I used to be, because there's a lot of things that are in books written by men now that I'm just like, it's giving me the ick. And I don't want to read it.
I completely agree. Especially in fantasy. Like, I feel like a lot of male fantasy writers do not know how to write women at all. Like,
they don't. Not at all. But yeah, like, I loved the female empowerment in this book.
Yeah, I did like that.
See, I like the female empowerment. I just felt like it was too much for me. Like, I felt like even if we had Luke as a more dominant character and just having his different dynamic where he's still LGBT, he's just kind of helping to do this. But it is mostly Sophia. I feel like I would have. I
get what you're saying, but the point of it is being like, it's a woman taking charge and actually trying to change things so that she's not handing over the reins to a man like everyone else in this world does. And that's the point of it. It's that it needs to be a woman that does this, because why should it be a man that gets female rights? Like, it has to be a female. Like, that's the thing I love most about this book, is that it is mostly female, and that there's not a huge cast of characters as well.
Yeah,
I love how that's how we're so different, because I'm like, I kind of wish there was more male in it, even if it was like a little bit more. Whereas you're like, no, I prefer that it was all female. And I'm like,
I didn't mind that it was all female, but I just fell in love with Luke straight away. I thought he was so sweet and adorable, and I just wanted him in it more just because I liked him as a character, not necessarily just because he's a guy. But I just loved him.
I feel like if Luke had have been in it more, it would have felt forced though, because the story didn't sit for him to be a main character. Like, it was Sophia and Constance, and then Amina, but we're not going to talk about Amina yet because still angry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think this story needed to be so female centric so it didn't fall in the trap of having male saviors. Yeah, not gonna lie, did love Luke. Luke was amazing. So I would have loved him to be in it more, but if the story fit that narrative, which it didn't. But I really like. I need to remember the exact quote here because I've written notes with page numbers.
Oh yeah, I did like a quote, and I can't remember what it is now, but it was on page 256, and I wrote that down. I just said quote 256 because I really liked it.
I would laugh if we've both got that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I haven't got a note on 256.
Oh yeah, I found it. It's actually an Amina quote, which I forgot. That kind of ruins it a little bit.
She said some pretty good stuff. I'll give her that.
She did.
Am I the person who hated Constance?
Oh, I didn't hate Constance.
I did not like her.
Constance.
I didn't love her, but I
wanted her to die.
She was just fine.
I was like, have her die. Have her die. Have her die. She didn't, and I was like, oh.
She's literally the last surviving member of the family. She needs to live.
Die. Not like her.
I liked her, but I did think the love was like, it was so insta-lovey. It was just kind of so forced.
I knew. I'm so glad. Thank you, Rachel. I'm so glad you brought that up because I actually wrote down. I knew this was going to come up, and I have a point about that. So my point is, Sophia falling for Constance so quickly is actually really accurate because, like, and I'm talking as a queer girl who grew up when there wasn't that many queer people around her, and Constance is the first queer person she's come across and met and got to know that doesn't hide being queer, and that plays a big part in it. And that is fully speaking from experience there. And obviously people that don't have that experience won't necessarily have seen that. And that's why I made the note to talk about it.
I'm like LGBT and I still don't like it. It's still too much for me.
but it's not so much talking as like someone who is queer. It's talking as someone who's queer who has that experience.
No, that makes
from
sense.
When I was younger. Not all queer people are going to see it that way. But someone who has the experience is going to see it that way. And it is just so accurate because you instantly are like, this person I have that connection with, and then feelings develop pretty quickly. So I really liked that side of it but I made the note because I know not everyone is going to.
Yeah, I wouldn't have seen it that way, so that's really interesting.
I'm going to guess this was that the Constance needs to die.
I don't like her.
Why,
don't like her at all. Well, I was just like, I feel like she was trying too hard, you know? I was like, you're trying too hard. And
I feel like she's pretty desperate at this point, because
I know,
she's the last person in her family, and she's trying really hard to, one, make the world better for like girls, and two, kill the king.
Don't like her.
I feel like it's literally her character. She is desperate to do this for all of the women that have died by a man's hand.
I really like the fact that we saw the like ugly stepsister as like an actual good person. And like,
yes.
I really like that. Like, I love that, and I like the fact about the wicked stepmother was actually just trying to bring down the king.
Yeah.
I really like that. I just don't like Constance. So I mean, I'm like, can we not have got nice one? Not her.
I really liked how they did that.
She was too easy to just try and kill people. She was just like, oh, you're a male. Here's a knife at your throat, and I'm like, just.
I mean, to be fair, you've got to think, if you lived in a world that was like that, you would feel threatened by every single man. It's why when Sophia is in that car with Luke, she's on the defensive from the get-go before she finds out who he is, because she doesn't know what he's like. She doesn't know if he's trying to, you know, like abuse her like every man does in this world. So, you know, it makes sense. Like, if I lived in that world, I would carry a dagger, and if any man tried it, I'd be like, you what? And you've got to think, her whole, like, all of her ancestors, they've like taught each other how to fight down the line, because they need to, especially the fact that the king is very clearly after them.
I feel like she was too easy to just go violence and nothing else, and I just really don't like that personally.
Yeah, but you've got to take into consideration the world. Like, if you're in that world, it would be different if it was actually it wouldn't really be that different if it was this world, because there are some parallels that are scarily accurate in this book to the real world. It's scary accurate sometimes. Sometimes it felt more contemporary than fantasy. Just saying.
Agreed.
I wasn't a fan of the instant love, but I do get it. Yeah, that's why I'm glad we did, like, that you brought it up, so that I could just be like, just someone with experience.
No, I think my main
from a different view.
No, I am glad that you told me that, because that's like, it makes me feel a little bit better about it. But
I don't usually like insta love at all. This is not one of the first instances I've liked it.
Yeah, it does drive me mad. But my main thing with this book that just put me off from giving it like a 4 or 5 was just, I felt like everything was so convenient. Like, everything was too easy. They were never in danger, even though they should have been. I feel like Sophia goes back into the town to see Erin, and she's like not spotted by any guards, and she finds the journal, Cinderella's journal, so easily. She knocks out guards so easily. I'm like, what? Where's the challenge here? There's no danger. It's like so convenient.
See, that is definitely a thing for me, that I very much like it when it's convenient, because I don't like anything bad happening.
See, I'm the same. I was like expecting, especially near the end when she's actually in the castle for like the second kind of ball, and I was like, okay, she's going to show up, everyone's going to be on her, it's going to be like so much worse. And it was like, she's gone, and I'm like, and I was like, she is in a cage, and now she is free, and I was like,
she was in the cage for 2 minutes.
seriously, come on.
Didn't she like pick the lock with a hairpin though? Like, you would have thought the guards are stupid. They're stupid.
Clearly.
You would definitely. It's because they live in a world where they expect women to just do as they're told, so they don't think a woman is going to rebel even when one has. Like, they're just so set in, no, I am a man, I will tell them what to do, that they don't expect someone to not.
even the other women though, they kind of were like, yeah, well, we can't get out, and then she's like, here, I'm out. Here's the keys, and I'm like, what? What do you mean? They've been in there for months, and you got out within 2 minutes. I do not think so.
It was
I do
too
not.
Well, I
think
mean,
so.
that's because it just takes one person to get through, and you've got to think all the other women that are in there are being drained, which, can we just talk about that for a sec?
Oh, that freaked me out.
Like, I loved it, but it was like, oh, like, especially when they find her friend, like, Liv, and I'm like,
that was
no!
so sad. I wasn't expecting that.
At first, I thought that, you know how it has, like obviously the women are kind of like getting like raped. I'm not going to do that in quotations, but you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't say that in the exact word, but like,
yeah.
So I genuinely thought at first that the king was a succubus. And that first
I mean, to an extent, kind of.
Yeah.
But like, he didn't go like the whole way. But I really had,
yeah.
from the beginning, I was like, succubus. And then it was like, the soul is leaving their body. And I was like, so it's a succubus. Called it. I was like,
I've just seen there's a few comments. I'm going to quickly go through these. Yeah, no men have respect for women in this world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That broke my heart. Oh my god, that really.
Liv's parents were really sweet because they still looked after her, especially the dad. The dad was so much more into protecting Sophia than her own family was, and I was like,
yeah.
Oh.
I do think it's more of a her family, like her parents, are very much, we have to be good, we have to follow the rules, we can't, and especially scenes as like they know Sophia is gay, so they know that is instantly a possibility of like a target on her head. She has to play by the rules and not do something wrong. But Liv's family have just lost one of their daughters, and they're like, we don't want our other daughters to have the same fate, we want to help you, and you were so good to our daughter. Like, I loved Liv's parents.
Oh, they were
they also said that they were aware that she was gay, so I really kind of like the fact that they were like, you know what, we're not judging, we're just we want to help you, but stay away from your parents because they will turn you in so fast.
Yeah, Sophia's parents.
Not everyone
were the
in
worst.
this.
Oh my god.
Not everyone in the world was terrible, just most of them. It's like a society of pimp off your girls as soon as possible to be married. Yeah. It's disgusting. And also, the fact, I wrote it down. The double standards that girls are forced to go to the ball on it, like when they turn 16. Boys choose when they want to go. Exactly. If they don't want to go until they're 50 years old, that's fine.
Oh, disgusting.
I don't know why, but it made me kind of laugh when they're like, oh, this year they can have 2 wives. And I was like, why not?
It was sort of that with me. I was sort of like why are the men in this story like this?
I know, they're the worst.
You can have 2 wives now. I'm like, why not? Why not?
They expect women to be dumb and stay in their place. Yeah, so that when one doesn't, they're like, what are we doing? Wanted more backstory to Sophia. I was waiting for a big reveal naming her the chosen one or something. It was too convenient her being the one to take him down. Yeah,
more backstory would have been good. I
feel like the fact that like the whole she technically was the chosen one because she was the one, but it was a chosen one in a different sense in the matter. It wasn't like a prophecy or anything. It was just she was the one that decided enough is enough. I need to do something, or at least try to do something about this. So there's nothing special about her other than she's just like, let's break the system and make a better world. And then, but if she didn't have Constance, she would not have made it anywhere near. Constance was the one getting her out of sticky situations every time.
I was just surprised that she was the only one who wanted to, rebel or whatever. Like, I just felt like it kind of reminds me of the I'm not like other girls trope. It was like, why is there not more people joining her here? There should be.
I mean,
they're scared. They're beaten into submission.
Women and stuff who try to like do the bombings and things, but they all got like basically caught and put thingy.
Yeah.
I mean, there was
because Constance was like the last one.
Yeah.
And then Sophia come along. So it's just a case of them thinking enough is enough. But a lot of them are already married and being abused and are too scared and don't think they can do anything.
Yeah.
And it's just a vicious cycle because then they'll have daughters and it will happen again. And it is a vicious cycle for 200 years, apparently.
Awful.
So we have to speak about this fairy godmother.
Yes.
We have to. So at what point did you think that she was evil?
Honestly, I never trusted her. She always gave me a weird vibe. I was like, I want to, because I actually like her as a character, but I was like, no, there's something off. There's something not right with her.
Before we met her, you know, when it was like, oh, there's something like spooky within this forest and causing like this spell, it's making us sleepy and stuff. And I was like, bet you she's evil. Like, I bet you this fairy godmother is actually evil. And then I was like, I predicted this whole damn book.
I wasn't expecting her to be his mother, though. That actually
honestly,
did surprise
that one
me.
Didn't surprise me, and it's because I can't remember what, but I have read another book where something similar happens.
Oh, really?
And I was like, I can see what's happening here.
The moment that she said about she opened the book and it was like saying about the necromancer and she was attached to them until thingy, and then you saw how old she was, and I was like, well, if the king's a succubus or if he is draining souls but he's dead, then that's going to be his mum and that's who he's tethered to. And I was like, oh, for God's sake. So for me, I think I was just bored because I was like, I basically predicted the book so early on what was going to happen, and it basically all happened like I thought. So I was just kind of there like, ugh. So then
do you not feel a sense of accomplishment though when that happens?
But then at that point, I was just basically reading the characters and then being kind of bored with the characters. And I was like, oh, Jesus, come on. Why is everything so easy? Why am I predicting this whole book?
I definitely think it is because I really enjoy books like that where I can predict, unless it's a thriller. If it's a thriller, no. But if it's like a fantasy book, I love being able to figure it out myself and then having that sense of accomplishment when I'm right.
I'm the opposite. I like being surprised.
I don't mind. See, for me, I'm kind of in the middle. I like not knowing what's happening and slowly figuring it out, but I figure it out kind of nearest the end before they do the reveal.
Not too
Whereas
early.
I figured this out on like page 10, essentially. It feels like that. And I was just there like, come on. Cannot be a whole book where I actually know what's happening, right? There has to be like a twist. And I was like, where was the twist? Where was the twist? Where was the twist?
Thought the draining was very reminiscent of the Dark Crystal, which I loved. Gave it 4 stars, don't give half stars, just because the insta love was a bit much for me, and the going back to the woman that was never going to want her annoyed me. But again, I get why it was hard. I'm glad that I would have been really annoyed if she had just tried to go back to Erin at the end of it, because it would have just felt like, no, don't. I mean, she didn't know. She's with Constance.
Yeah,
she doesn't go back to Erin in that sense. She goes back to Erin to say bye to Erin. She's accepted that's it.
I feel like if she went to like where Erin was staying and Erin was like, no, stay with me, that kind of thing, I feel like she would be like, bye Constance. I feel like
I don't think she would.
I don't know. No, I don't think she would either. But
Erin was very much a first love, and it was the whole forbidden thing, and now she's had something that she can have and doesn't feel forbidden, and it's just warm and fuzzy, and it feels right because there's no hiding. They don't need to hide. And she would constantly, if she went back to Erin, it would be like, well, are you going to just make me hide again?
Yeah.
So I don't think she would ever go back to Erin. She said goodbye to Erin. That's it. She's done. And I'm really glad about that because I don't like Erin.
I hated Erin.
See, we agree on something.
Yay!
I don't like either love interest. It was
great. For her to let the girl go, she was oh yeah, no, I get why it was hard for her to let the girl go. She was her first love. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Hate Amina. Amina can take a long walk off a short pier.
So accurate. But she was fun to hate, you know? I actually like her as a character. Like she was. And
the banter between like Amina and Constance.
That
like,
was great. I did
constantly
love that.
Calling her granny.
Yeah.
And like Amina, like, oh, I could tell you, but I'll have to kill you. And Constance was like, what? She's like, I'm just joking. I loved the banter between them. I thought it was brilliant.
I kind of liked Amina's character. I think she was my favourite character.
She was a really good character.
In the book, though.
She was most interesting.
I'm like speaking about it now, and I'm like, why did I rate this 4 stars?
I'm actually, the more you talk, I'm like, did you rate it 4 stars?
I'm doubting myself. I'm like, did I? I mean, at the time, I did, but right now, I'm like, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't at all.
The difference in how men and women were treated wasn't dissimilar to the past, when women had to come out into society and would be considered old maids at the ripe old age of mid-20s. I would be like a little spinster at 29. Yeah, Amina was suspicious from the get-go.
Absolutely, I agree.
I think the going back to Erin was more for closure.
Yeah,
it
definitely.
was to say goodbye. The last time it was, so I like that. I loved the banter. I can totally see this playing out on screen.
I definitely think they'll make a movie out of this. I
would absolutely love it. Like, honestly, it would be amazing.
I'd watch it, but I don't know if I'd have high expectations or not.
I'd watch it and be like...
let's be real. How often do they actually keep it accurate to the book anyway? So it'd be completely different.
As long as we had a bit of a twist on it, then
I'm just seeing if...
I've read so many books that are kind of like this before, that it was really, really predictable for me. And because I watch a lot of fantasy and, like, obviously, like, succubi is, like, probably one of my favourite things in, like, books and movies and stuff. If I can find a good succubi, I'm, like, invested. So I think maybe that's why I was just kind of from the let-go, just kind of being, like, I kind of get the whole thing. So it never really wowed me. It was never going to be a 5 stars for me, because I thought it was just too easy, and I just got it far too fast for my own liking.
That's fair.
But I do have the Poison Heart, and I do want to read that, and I am excited.
I am going to read that.
Do you know what? The things that you don't like about this book aren't necessarily in this Poison Heart. It's a very different book, and I think you're going to enjoy it.
I was going to say, if you say for a second, the things that you don't like in this book is very prominent, I'd be like, just go down hall.
So like, it's not the whole everything being convenient isn't in this Poison Heart. There is a level of it, but I think you're going to enjoy this Poison Heart more than you enjoyed this, because
I can
those
forgive
things,
her, because this is her debut novel, so I can't like I was never going to say I'm not going to read any more by her. Like, I'll definitely read that one and see how it goes.
This could be beautiful on screen. Can you imagine the dresses? I mean, just
the dresses would be amazing.
I think as well, for me, I think it was overhyped, because I'm not going to blame you, Becca, but like
everyone,
this, like, a lot.
It wasn't just me.
I saw so many people loved it.
Exactly.
No, I saw people love it, but I've seen no one actually give it like the huge hype that you've given it, Becca. For me, it was only you that gave it major hype.
Yeah, but you should know me by now. I hype up things I absolutely love.
I know, but I'm like, maybe the overhypeness and then me getting it so early was probably why I was just kind of like,
Yeah.
Whereas if I went in without thinking of the hype, or without being like, oh, this is going to be like 5 stars or anything like that, maybe I would have preferred the story, if that makes sense. I wouldn't have had that high expectation of it. No offense, Becca.
I do love a nice predictable film now and again, like The Princess Diaries. Oh my god, yes.
Love that.
It would be a comfort watch.
Definitely.
Especially with the whole, like, break the patriarchy, like.
Yes.
I love it. This Poison Heart is amazing. 5 stars.
Oh.
Read it.
Oh. Okay.
This Poison Heart was amazing. Waiting very impatiently for the sequel. Same. Becca, I have the book and I loved it, so yay for the hype, but then sorry for the caps. I thought she was just really like on it with the whole Becca hype the book, but no, it was accidental. I did hype the book though, like I granted I know I loved this, but this Poison Heart was just on another level for me. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
But
I'll read it like next year when the hype's gone. That's fine.
No, I'm
once
definitely
the sequel's out.
Once the whole book's done, and then there's been like 5 years since then I'll read the book. Because to this day, I got like Divergent when the last film came out, and I've still not picked up the first even book yet. So like,
old school.
Do you know what?
Love Divergent.
Don't bother. Do you know what? Read the first two books. The third book, chuck it in the bin. The third book doesn't need to happen because it was the worst ending to a series I've ever read in my life.
The third one got spoiled for me before I read it, so that was really annoying.
I just go on about how much I absolutely hate Allegiant. It is the worst book I've ever read in my life. I hate it so much. Bit ruined because I loved that series, and I'm actually so glad that even the filmmakers were like, nah, the second half of this book is rubbish, we're not making it into a film.
It's so funny. I never watched the
that's how bad it was. No one wanted to see it. I've read This Poison Heart because of Becca, and I'm not mad.
Brilliant.
A couple of little things that weren't necessarily to do with the plot, but they were just like things I really liked. So when they're supposed to be focusing, and Amina just calls out Sophia because she's not focusing, she's daydreaming about Constance. And I'm like, that is such a typical like teenager thing.
I know.
Like, because you got to remember, she's 16 years old.
Yeah.
She's having this whole new like lot of feelings for this new person in her life who's right in front of her looking beautiful, and she's not going to focus on what she's supposed to be focusing on. She's like, oh, look at her.
Aww.
It's just so perfect.
When I think of Constance, I don't see her as pretty.
I didn't say pretty, I said beautiful.
Yeah, I don't see her as that either.
She is beautiful, but the beauty is subjective. Like, she doesn't have to be conventionally beautiful to be beautiful.
I kind of saw her character as like, just for me, this isn't like my, like, what I'm attracted to isn't this. I'm just putting out there, but like, I know people who are attracted to who do look like this, putting out there, because I don't want to be like hated on. But like, I kind of saw like a really butchish looking lesbian. I don't know why.
I mean, she wasn't.
And I was like, that's the way I just kind of visioned her, and I was like, I just don't.
I don't think she was described that way, though.
No, I didn't picture it that way at all.
I'm pretty sure she's got long red hair.
Yeah.
I've seen fan art posted by the author.
She does, but like, I just didn't. Like, when I was reading it, I didn't see her that way at all. Like, the way that she's described is just not how I pictured her.
But I mean, she is. I mean, to be fair, she doesn't. She's like one of the only women in this whole book that doesn't wear dresses. Like, you know, she dresses kind of like a stereotypical guy in this world because she needs to be in hiding constantly because women shouldn't go out on their own. Remember, it really annoys me. But yeah, so like, you know, she dresses like a man because she has to pass as a man, but she definitely like isn't. She's got beautiful long hair, and I'm just like that. Honestly, if you get a chance to look on the author's Twitter and possibly Instagram at the fan art that she's posted, oh my god, the fan art is incredible. Like, people are so talented. Like,
don't get me wrong, she's not as bad as whoever his name is, and like Thunderhead. She wasn't as bad as that, but she was pretty close.
To be fair, I don't think you can hate a character more than you hated him.
Yeah, you really didn't like him.
I liked him in book 3. Hated him in book 2.
Constance is a beautiful soul. She may not be conventionally beautiful with soft facial features, and she wears manly clothing.
Probably why
because she has to blend in.
Probably why I pictured her more as like a butchish kind of thing, because she was constantly making herself look more like a male rather than a female. So like, I understand why I did think that. I know she has like long hair and stuff. It's just not how I ever pictured her, because I always just pictured her as being that more male side.
Yeah. It is definitely her character that makes her beautiful, not just looks. Like, she is like,
though.
Yeah, you didn't like anything about her.
I think we forgot. I don't like her.
Okay, before you hurt me more with your Constance hate, another thing. Now, this is nothing to do with Cinderella.
I like the trend.
The little nod to the magic mirror. I was like, Snow White. And I was just like, I loved the little, like, it's literally like two lines in the entire book. There's no need for it other than it's just like a little Easter egg, and it's just like a magic mirror. And I'm like,
I really like the fact that she could essentially do a sequel hope not.
I don't think
not
it needs a sequel.
No, but not like a sequel, but like, you know how you get the companion novels that are kind of like close, but like
so
one
maybe
of them
set in that other kingdom.
Because like they said it was like they knew the stories of it, so they could so she could kind of do like a companion sequel-y, you know what I mean, but from like Snow White's perspective and like what happened that way. That's what I meant.
That would be pretty cool.
Sequel.
Yeah. I don't think she would, because I think like obviously she's moved on to This Poison Heart now, and I very much think like she's done with this world. But if she did, I think that would be a pretty cool idea, and I think she very much would have like learnt from her debut book syndrome, because every author has debut book syndrome. No matter how good the author is, their very first book is not going to be great. But it also, Ash, I think you need therapy. I'm here to talk.
What is that? Because I said I liked the prince. I actually really like the prince in the book. He's like the only character I kind of liked.
The thing
is,
the
fairy godmother and the prince.
I usually like the villains. We know I usually like the villains, but he was just so disgustingly male. I was like, nope. My first thing was when he humiliates Liv, and I was like, that is the biggest male ego power trip you could ever have. Like, just die.
Like, he was just pure evil. Right, not even a single redeeming quality in him.
I was like, I was like, oh, he's such a dick. I love it. Like, give me more. One more of his friends.
And like when he was like talking about Cinderella, it was like, I deserved her love. It's like, just because you made her queen against her will because some like she was given some like spell or potion doesn't mean you deserve any love from her. Like, get out, get in the bin where you belong.
I really like that, actually, the fact that we did see that she kind of went to kill him and then just kind of got caught up and got given like a love spell and things. I actually really liked. That's probably one of the only twists that I didn't predict in this book. It was lovely. I liked that bit. I was like, yes. But no, I actually really liked that. I thought it was really cleverly done and it made it actually different. Compared to
I thought that Cinderella herself was going to be more in it. You know, when they did the necromancy spell to bring her back, I thought she was actually going to be like a character for the rest of the book, and I was really excited. And then it turned out to be like 2 pages, and it was not really anything.
I'm kind of glad they didn't, because I didn't want this to be a zombie book. I love zombies.
I would have liked if Cinderella was the one who got rid of the prince, because I feel like that would have been the ultimate revenge. And that would have been such a nice thing.
That would have been cool.
That would have been.
I like that.
But I feel like it would have had to been if the necromancy worked better than just bringing her back the way it brought her back. Like, it would have had to have been a proper necromancy where she's fully back and she's like herself and everything, which would be really hard. She's been dead for 200 years.
Very good point.
She could potentially write about more fairy tales. No sequel, please, but companion novel would work well. Snow White retelling kind of book.
Yes.
And I feel like, considering Snow White was like the first like Disney princess, there's not really, and I know like that's not the original story. Don't come at me. I know Disney is not the original Snow White story. Don't worry. But like, I feel like there's not many Snow White retellings. There is a few.
Surprising. I can't even think of
I've
any.
not heard Malice. I don't know whether Malice
is Sleeping Beauty. Malice is Sleeping Beauty. It's Aurora and the evil fairy. But I know there is Poisoned by Jennifer Donnelly and Winter.
I've got that. I've not read it, but I've got that.
I've got the E-arc of Poisoned. I read her Cinderella retelling Stepsister, which was pretty good, but I haven't read Poisoned yet. But yeah, there's not that many Snow White retellings, and it would be cool to see some more, because there wasn't considering I don't like Snow White, like it's my least favorite film.
I don't really like it either, but I would like
some dark retellings. I love this energy from you. Get in the bin. Caps was intentional that time. Every time I read about the prince, I kept thinking his breath must smell, and then when it got to the training bit, I literally gagged. Like, I was.
Love it.
I love that. Yes. Comment of the night, everyone.
Yeah. Definitely.
But it was just like, oh,
So
like
accurate.
in that scene, I was like, oh my god, it's the vision she saw. It's coming true. I'm like, no, don't go near her. Don't go near her.
I know, he just made my skin crawl. Like, oh, so uncomfortable.
Yeah, to be
I love
fair,
how
most
I
of the
liked
men in
him.
this
I'm really
did.
personally seem to like the prince. Like, it's fine.
I would like to go back to this comment.
I think it's because I didn't really like Constance or Sophia.
That doesn't mean you have to love the absolutely
I love the one who's going to
disgusting
kill them.
piece of trash.
I'm like, who's the one who's going to kill them? That guy. I want that guy.
I don't even want to call him the villain because I like villains, but
he's just something else.
No.
He's on another level.
I'm seeing if there's a. Oh, I only really have one more point to make on this. The fact that last chapter, I really liked how we sort of got like a kind of epilogue, and we saw that like they decided, because obviously there was are we going to change everything straight away and just deal with the consequences, or are we going to change it bit by bit and hope people go along? And I really liked how we saw that they decided to go for the whole, we're just going to change all the laws now.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to deal with it. But then that last chapter showed us that it wasn't as simple as they changed it and didn't face any difficulties. Like, I know that was only a very short chapter, but you literally get told that there's like riots, people setting fire to houses, like they have to deal with the consequences of this like man-driven world, being told men don't get to do everything they want anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are consequences to your actions, and there's pushback. And I really like that we saw that.
Yeah, I would have liked if it was a little longer.
The last 3 lines of the book were my favourite of the book. Like the last 3 lines, the last 3 lines were my favourite part of the book. That sounds really bad. I liked the last 3 bits.
Oh, I do like the last 3 lines.
Yes. Raise your voice, daylight in the dark.
That's actually really good. I like that.
I actually loved that personally. That was probably like my favourite thing. I think it's because it's just so empowering in itself. Just those 3 lines are very empowering.
Yeah.
And actually just like for an ending of a book, that is a very strong ending, and it does kind of give you that like in person being like, you know what, yeah, I can actually do this for myself. Like I can stand up. And I actually really like that. Like that ending for me was really good. So as much as it sounds terrible, the last 3 lines were my favourite.
I like that it showed that it wasn't all sunshine and roses when there are such huge changes. Yeah, because
like been too easy again.
Like with the whole like convenience thing, like that was one thing that wasn't necessarily convenient, because it shows that there was hard work and there was pushback, and they had to, you know, fight for that. Like, I just really liked it.
It was good.
Do either of you have anything else that you want to?
I didn't really note anything down because I was just not really liking anybody. So
yeah, you just didn't like anyone.
I love the fact I didn't really like anyone, but I still gave it 4 stars.
Those 3 words must have been really good.
Yeah.
Last 3 lines, I'm like, yes.
4 stars.
This is it.
Out of my mouth.
I think it's because I did actually like the reading experience. I thought it was really easy to read, and I did find myself wanting to actually continue reading. So I did actually enjoy it. I just didn't like the characters. So, but I did actually like the reading experience of it, and then those last 3 lines for me would have definitely pushed over, because otherwise it was probably going to be a 3 stars. Like, yeah.
See, I liked the characters. It was more, and I loved the whole concept. Like, I thought the whole concept was absolutely genius. I really do. I think that's why I would read anything else by her. So I'm definitely going to read her other book.
Yeah.
But it was just the whole like convenience thing. That was the main thing I didn't like. Everything was just too easy.
Yeah.
It was just not enough challenge for such a crazy world. I wanted more difficulty.
That's definitely a preference thing, because like
definitely.
I said, I really like books that are kind of convenient, because I don't like bad things to happen, and it to be like the end. Like I don't mind bad things happening, but I like knowing that when it happens, everything's gonna work out okay. I don't like sad endings.
Yeah.
But yeah, like not everyone likes it. Like
I
it's
do
not
prefer
something everyone likes.
Like you can kind of tell that I prefer like a more not as easy way, because even when we read lore, I wasn't impressed with how easy it was found.
Yeah.
So maybe for me, it's just that's just something I don't like, is just how convenient some books are.
Yeah.
I kind of like
don't read Sarah J. Maas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sarah J. Maas is very much a convenient. Everything is very
I love her, but
well, I mean, smart might outweigh it.
All right, maybe stick to the Christmas Eve. Because you've got a lot of convenience in her other books before you get to the smart.
Okay.
I haven't. That's one series by her I haven't read yet, actually.
Oh my god.
Just read every other.
Don't get me started on Sarah J. Maas. I could be here for hours.
I know, same.
Just be glad nothing of hers has been adapted yet, because that would have been a pity.
But I heard they're making Throne of Glass a TV show.
Oh, please God, no, they're going to ruin Rowan.
They're definitely going to ruin everyone.
I don't think I would watch that. I can't bring myself to have my favourite series ever ruined.
I'm kind of...
I've already been burned by Shadowhunters.
Yeah.
I've been burned by Shadowhunters twice, the movie and the TV show.
Oh, both awful.
I love the TV show and I like the film, Shadowhunters.
No.
The only good thing about the film is Jamie Campbell-Bower.
Oh yeah, I love him.
The amount of times that boy is falling on me is insane. I'm like, stop falling on me. I think he's fallen on me about 10 times, if not more, at this point. And I'm like, I know I'm small, but please stop falling on me. Literally, stop.
Can we just, I agree with this comment a lot.
I agree with this comment. I'm confused.
I feel like we're just going to see Ashley change her Goodreads rating to 3.
No,
she's going to round it down instead of up.
As I said, I do think it is because I did actually like the writing style of this book, and I did want to continue reading it. Once I started, I did want to continue, and I did actually like the reading experience.
Yeah.
I just didn't particularly like the characters.
Yeah, and to be fair, if you don't like the characters are like the main thing.
Yeah.
Like if you don't like the characters, it's sort of like all going to be downhill from there, no matter how good the writing is. So yeah.
I think genuinely.
I mean, you didn't hate all the characters. You liked the prince.
The worst.
I also like the fairy godmother.
But I liked her.
Yeah, me too.
I don't like how her story arc goes. It was necessary, but I didn't like it.
I think the last 3 lines were probably what pushed up the 4 for me.
That is powerful.
The amount Becca cries, it has to have a happy ending. Exactly. Although Becca cries at happy endings.
Yeah.
But
I don't mind happy crying. I just don't want to
Watch as I find the most depressing book I can find that has been adapted, just so we can watch Becca cry for hours.
I mean,
I'll just be like, Becca's crying, and then get to the edge, it's like a really sad ending. I'm like, Becca is broken. Now for the live show.
Right. I don't know if you saw my reaction to reading the second book in the Vampire Academy series. That was not okay.
But I don't know why. I heard you broke, and I was like, I want to read this
so badly.
I haven't read it
so badly. I mean, it's the second book, so please read the first book first.
I have read the first book. I read it literally years ago. Like I can't remember a single thing, but I definitely it's something I have. I have the entire series, so it's something I do want to read.
I literally broke so much that Liv was like, I didn't think it would. I've never seen you react that way to a book. And I'm like, I have never reacted that way to a book. Like, ever. Like, I used to, like, back in the day, I would literally sit there sobbing at Deathly Hallows, but never that much, never to that extent. No book has ever done that.
I'm intrigued right now, and maybe I'll get to the Vampire Academy.
But it is definitely a very,
I feel like you're giving me a challenge, Becca. I feel like you're giving me a challenge. I'm really
you're not gonna cry at it. You have no soul to cry at things. Like, have you ever cried at anything?
Yeah.
Oh my god, have you read Marley and Me?
No, but that film makes me cry.
Have I?
Hey, I knew it. I knew that would be one that you would cry at.
Yeah. King Kong breaks my heart.
You'd have to be heartless not to cry at that.
Like, see King Kong. Have you seen the Peter Jackson version of King Kong?
Yes, that makes me cry too.
So I'm not going to do any spoilers, but you know the ice rink scene?
Oh.
Yeah, so cute.
I cried from there till half an hour after the film ended.
Oh.
I was done. I was like broken.
That's a great movie.
It is. it was such a solid debut that made me want to read This Poison Heart. By the end, I knew the author had loads of potential. And honestly,
I agree. Like,
I definitely think
she's
definitely someone who knows how to write the ending of a first book in a series as well. Okay. Because the way This Poison Heart ends is just so perfect. Like, I was a bit worried because, you know, I've only read a standalone by her before.
Yeah.
And it's always that, is she going to write it really well? Like, I'm going to need this to be done well enough to want to pick up the sequel. And I'm like, I need book 2 now.
I'm definitely going to read that because it is really good. Sounds intriguing. And I do like her writing, so
I'm really intrigued as well because it is The Secret Garden, and I've never really heard of any other really retellings of that. So I'm really intrigued by it.
But to be fair,
I don't know much about it.
Yeah, to be fair, the Secret Garden side of the retelling, it's not actually like Secret Garden retelling. It's just there's an aspect. There is a secret garden. That's it.
I remember telling you it was a Secret Garden retelling back on. I was like, no, it's not.
No, it's not.
I was like, yes, it is.
I was like, there's a secret garden, but that's it. And that is, I think that is literally where the retelling side comes from, is because it has a secret garden in it. That's it. That's which I think maybe that's why I like it, because I hate the secret garden. Like, nope.
Yeah.
But I imagine Rowan as Ronan in the Marvel. No. No.
Huh?
No. I just look up fan art of Rowan Whitethorn. He's blonde and he's beautiful.
I like him. Blonde.
Actually,
I love that.
Don't look it up. I will look it up. Don't look it up because you might see spoilers. Because I found out a massive spoiler about his character because I was looking up.
Becca, no.
I know.
I love the fact it's like they're blonde, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much all it takes.
You can keep your hands off him. He's mine.
I'm trying to think who would be good to play him.
I don't know who he is.
Oh, this is a good fan art.
Oh,
he's very tattooed. He's tattooed and beautiful.
He is beautiful.
That picture is way better than the first one you showed me.
I mean, there's many different fan art. Not all the fan art is good. But yeah, I think it was maybe inspired by Secret Garden, but it's very much its own book. Yes, definitely. Is this to the Secret Garden agreement to Amy's comment, or is this to Rowan Whitethorn being mine? Because both are correct. On that note,
I have a book boyfriend at the moment. His name is Lestat. It's fine.
Do you picture him as Stuart Townsend?
No.
Please tell me you've seen the Queen of the Damned film.
Yeah.
Then how do you not? You have to picture him as Stuart Townsend because that film is amazing.
I just don't.
Oh, the Rowan comment, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. On that note, I don't have anything else for us to talk about. Do either of you have anything, or anyone in the comments want to talk about anything else?
No,
because I think I've gone through my like we've all gone through all of the comments that I had. Yeah, I think no one else has anything.
It's really awkward. The only thing that we haven't talked about that I kind of liked was the fact that they had the tree. They still had the magic to like give her like the gown and stuff.
Yeah, that was cool.
I was just flicking through there and was like, oh, that bit. I actually kind of liked that.
I loved how she was like, I need a way to find the. I want a way to like kill the king, and Amina's just like, it doesn't work like that.
So, she tried.
It wasn't that convenient.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think the tree does, women? It just gives you stuff. It just like turns spark into things. What are you talking about?
I love Lisa's input. Loved it. It was great. That is all.
Fair enough.
To be fair, I was getting updates from Lisa when she was reading it, and it was very much she had almost all the same thoughts as me.
That's so funny.
But on that note, I think we can wrap it up. We will obviously be having the live show for Ashley's pick for Black Beauty, and we will be posting very soon when that will be, but obviously it will be on Ashley's channel. So keep an eye out on the Twitter, and if you're in the Discord, keep an eye out on the Discord as well. And we'll see you next time. Bye.